diving class, and we've had 36 people signed up for diving this year, which is unprecedented. I couldn't fit everybody in, but this is going to give you a good sampling of what we've been working on, and I wanted to say that I was so proud of everybody in diving class. I think every single person has gotten better. They've improved, whether it was on their standing fronts, racing dives, or off the board. I think we had a lot of people learning back dives that were previously scared to even go off the board backwards. We've got a lot of those. So this is going to give you kind of a sample of what we've been doing, and we'll have even more girls sign up next year. So I'm going to tell you what every girl is doing, just kind of give you an idea. And we're going to start off with Amy, and she's going to show us the approach, because the approach is the foundation for any good dive. We don't just stand on the end of the board and dive in. You have to have a good approach, and it's a few steps. It's a knee up to get a good jump, and she's going to show us the correct approach, which is to jump into the water. Okay? And you have that down, then you can start with your layout. Now there's 5 categories in diving. You have a front dive, a back dive, an inward, which is where you stand backwards and go frontwards, a reverse, which is where you go frontwards and dive backwards, and then there's a flip and a twist. So this is the first part. Once you get the approach down, then you will do a layout dive like this. So Jane's going to show us the layout dive. And in a layout dive, your body is like a board. You're completely straight throughout the whole dive. And of course, your entry is always straight up and down. More of those. Maddie and Devin are also going to show you the layout dive. Watch for pointed toes. Watch the walk on the approach. When you girls are doing dives off the diving board and you always say, oh, I flopped. Well, that's because you're leaning forward on your approach. Your chest has to be up on your jump, and that way you won't flip your legs over. If you're leaning too far forward, that's when you do the flop. Okay? Okay, Glenn. Okay, Amy is going to show us, this is another form of the front dive. It's just a different position, and this is a pike. And a pike, you keep your knees straight and you want to be as tight as you can. Your body is bent in half. And this is tricky because you have to get quickly out of that position, snap open, and get back into the vertical position. Summer, I'm not kidding. Good job. Okay, and so now Caroline's going to show us another pike. Okay, now Bethy is one of the girls. There's probably about, I think, 8 girls in camp that learned how to do back dives. So Bethy and then Meg are going to show you what they just learned this summer. And it's back dive. And it's the hardest, it's really an easy dive to do, but it's scary to fall backwards. And a lot of these girls overcame that. And I had a lot of other girls in camp that learned it too. So Bethy and Meg are going to show you the back dive. Caroline and I are going to show you the inward dive. We're going to show you the 2 different positions in the inward dive. This is the one where you're facing backwards and you do a front dive. She's going to do the tuck position where she's going to tuck her legs and shoot them to the sky, and I'm going to do the pike. Now Lauren's going to show us the other category of diving, which is a flip. So she's going to do her front flip. Now remember, in a flip, you don't land with your hands above your head. That's an unfinished dive. You always have to have your hands by your side when you're entering the water. And that concludes the diving exhibition. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Devin's thing.
Devin's fancy dive. Now this is a fun one. This handstand, this is not a category of diving. We don't do this in competition, but this is just for fun. And it's one of the tricks that you have to have balance and coordination. So it's kind of, you've got to be careful. Devin can do it. It's going to be a handstand on the board with a dive in.
Wow.